Hi guys, it's Donna, and I wanted to stop by today for a few minutes and share some tips with you of things that I do with leftovers and a couple of products that I found that are safe for those of us who are allergic to corn and its derivatives. Now, the first thing I wanted to talk about is, do you ever have leftover taco meat? We usually, because it's just the two of us, and I usually make a couple of pounds of ground beef when I make the taco meat, so we usually have a lot left over. One of the things I used to do was just freeze it and then thaw it out and reuse it. Well, I figured out something I wanted to try, and it worked. I have an old recipe from when I was in high school, and it was for sloppy joes. So what I did, I took the taco meat. Well, first I chopped up an onion into half rings or half slices and sauteed that in a little bit of oil. To that I added the taco meat and stirred it around, and then added some salt, another half tablespoon of chili powder, which I already had chili powder in the taco meat, but not quite as much as I use for this recipe for sloppy joes. So I added another half tablespoon and a tiny bit of cayenne. And to this, I added my own ketchup that you can make, and I made it on a video about a year ago that you guys can watch that shows you how to make it. But you can also do it with just tomato paste and tomato sauce on the stove, and adding the same amount of vinegar and salt and pepper, and I think it's a little tiny bit of cloves that you put in it. But you can look at that video and see how to do it. Well, I added a half a cup of that to the mix that was in the skillet, and a half a cup of water. Mix that really well, and then just let it simmer till it's done and almost dry, basically. And it's just wonderful. And as you probably saw, that was the picture I shared on the video right at the beginning. So I hope you'll try that and let me know how yours came out. Another one is, if you make more than one baked potato for, say, a family of 2, and you make 4, and then you only eat 1 potato. What I like to do is the next day is take the leftover potatoes and slice them in half. Take a heavy cast iron skillet, melt about 4 tablespoons of butter, and then I cut the potato in half and put it upside down in that butter that's been melted. Let that cook and brown. Flip it over and let the skin get all nice and crispy and brown. And then have your protein, your vegetables, and you've got a meal, another meal. And another thing I like to do is, I grew up in a time where biscuits were very common. In my mom's household, we had biscuits every single day. And if there were any left over, this is a trick my mom taught me. And she would do basically the same thing that I do with the baked potatoes. She would slice them in half, put butter into a heavy skillet, about 4 tablespoons. Then she would put those biscuits that she sliced in half into that butter and fry them on each side and let them get real crispy and brown. And then she would serve them with jelly or jam. And because I can my own, I don't have to worry about the corn products. Or you can even use just maple syrup over them. They are delicious. And it keeps you, one, from wasting food that is still perfectly good that's left over, and 2, because we have to watch what we get to eat anyway because of the corn and its derivatives. You're getting a good, safe food that you can eat. And another thing I like to do is I always do a corned beef or a roast beef once or twice a year in my crock pot. The roast beef I usually do a lot more. And for my meal, I usually have slices of the roast beef or the corned beef, and then my vegetables and starch. But I always have a lot left over. So what I generally do is, if there's potatoes left, like in the roast that we didn't eat the night before, I will chop them up super fine, chop the rest of the meat up super fine. Then I would put a little bit of oil in my Cuisinart saute pan and dredge the meat with, that's another one I do with dredging. I just put the meat in and get it started, add the potatoes, and I add a minced onion and season it with salt and pepper, and then the broth that's left over out of the crock pot, I add this to the mix. And then I let it cook up to where it's almost like a big patty. Sometimes it's not. It depends how the skillet's going to work. And I'd flip it over and get it all crispy and brown, and you have hash. Whether it's corned beef or roast beef, it's just absolutely delicious. And that's another trick you can use with leftover meat. And I do the same thing when I cook a big crock pot full of beans. We'll eat on them for a couple of days, and then I take the rest and I make refried beans with them. And in doing that, I add a little oil to my saute pan. Then I add an onion that I have minced and about 3 cloves of crushed garlic, and I just start mixing that really, really well till the onions are clear. Then I start scooping in the beans. I do about 3 ladles at a time. Then I take a potato masher and I mash them up really, really well. Then I add 3 more ladles until I've added all the beans, and I've mashed them up and let them cook until they're pretty thick. And then I can have tostadas, bean tostadas, make up burritos, whatever I want out of that. So it's another trick you guys can do without having food go to waste. With everything like it is right now, so many people are worried about not having enough to eat. And those of us that have these severe allergies, it's hard when you're shopping and the foods that you normally can have are basically sold out most of the time. I don't know how your stores are. I know ours here, I have to go back 2 or 3 times, and I don't like to be doing that with this pandemic still going full force. But sometimes I have to in order to get the foods that I need, which is why I did all the canning I did earlier this year, or in 2020, about September or October. And then I have stocked up on a lot of things that I normally don't stock up on. That I've been making my own bread, which is corn-free. I've been making my own meals that I can freeze and have those to eat. So for us to be able to find a way to use our leftovers is really great. So another thing I wanted to talk about is about a couple of things that I found. Now, for those of us with the corn allergy, we generally can't use vanilla extract when we're baking. What I've been doing before is just not using an extract because the alcohol they use is made from corn. So some people, they have videos out about making their own vanilla extract using vodka. Well, generally, vodka is made from potatoes, but I have found that a lot of vodkas are being made from corn. So just like buying the extract in the store, making your own isn't of benefit either because you're still getting the corn. So what I did some research on Amazon, which I shop a lot on Amazon, and I found this vanilla powder. And what it is, it's vanilla beans that have been crushed into a powder. And this is, when I bought this, it's a very small package, and it cost me like $13. But when you think about what you pay for some of the bottles of extract, it's not really that much more. But you only get half an ounce. Now, some people think half an ounce, oh my goodness, you're not getting anything. I've used this about 4 times, and it still feels like it's almost full. The way I substitute this for vanilla extract, you generally use 1 teaspoon in your recipe. I use 1/4 teaspoon of this powder in my recipes, and it equals to the 1 teaspoon. And it is so good and yummy, and I am going to continue to buy this. It is vegan. They say it's good for keto, for paleo, and that it's gluten-free. The only thing that's in this is just the vanilla bean powder, so you don't have to worry about any derivatives from corn or anything else. Now, another product I found, which I'm very excited about, I'm going to use it in a video tomorrow, and it's by Soy Yay, and it's called Very Very Teriyaki. Now, when you look at Chinese foods, there are usually cornstarch and corn derivatives in all of it. This one has simple ingredients in it. There is no corn whatsoever. The ingredients, you can see them on the back here. I don't know if you can see that. But the ingredients in this are soy sauce, which is the water, wheat, soybean, salt, sugar, water, then there's water, vegetable oil, which is soybean and or canola, onion, salt, sesame seeds, garlic, ginger puree, which is ginger and water, and then dried ginger. And that's it. So it's just like something I would make at home on my own. I'd get my soy sauce and just, add my own ingredients. And it was a little pricey. Generally, the other ones in the store run about $2.98. This was $3.97 for this bottle, and it's 21 ounces. So I'll be able to use this 2 or 3 times for my stir fry. So I'm excited to try this because I just took a chance and went and looked because I knew basically that La Choy and all of those companies, their products have corn products in them. But I was hoping maybe I can find something, and I found this. So if you like Chinese food, and I love beef and broccoli. I don't like the chestnuts, but I substitute bell peppers. So what we can do is look this up in your store. So what you can do, guys, is look up in your store and see if they have this and try it. If you're like me, I like to try simple dishes. And broccoli and rice has always been one of my favorite, but I couldn't eat it because of the corn products in the sauce. So give this a try, guys, and see how much you like it. And let me know if you like it, yay or nay. But I thought it was great to see that now the stores are starting to carry more and more products that are safe for us with the corn allergy, even though they do not recognize corn as a major allergen. But it's nice to see this. So that's just what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Just a few little tips and show you how we take care of our leftovers, how we take care of ourselves right now with everything that's going on. So I hope you'll try these tips. I hope that giving you information about the native vanilla and the teriyaki sauce is helpful. Please leave me a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And be sure and hit that bell for notifications. I will be doing a video with this sauce to make my version of beef and broccoli. There is another channel that I watch, and she did a video on beef and broccoli, which made me start craving it, which is why I was so happy to find this sauce. And so I adapted her recipe for me. And so I will share that with you guys, and I hope you'll try that as well. So until next time, guys, you take care of yourself, keep washing those hands, and stay safe.